Okay, ISO 27001 Clause 6, planning in around about 3 minutes. So for me, 6 is pretty much about risk management and a few other side things, but mostly it's about risk management. So 6.1 then, which is the standard asking you to define your approach to risk management, your methodology and that kind of thing. But you've got to consider the context of your business, threats and things that are going on out in the wide world that might impact you as a business and your interested parties and what they want from security. And that is going to influence how you go about your risk management and define your risk appetite. So by looking at those things, it helps you shape your ISMS and it allows you to plan actions to get the kind of outcome that you want, but not just for yourself, but for everybody that's an interested party. But the interesting part here is the detail in 6.1.1 through 6.1.3. Now, these ones are basically asking you to detail what's your risk methodology. How are you going to identify risks? Where are you going to go and find them? You're going to go out and talk to people, or you're going to look at news websites, this kind of thing. And then you're going to capture them in a risk log. You're going to score them. So you usually do that through a mixture of calculating the impact and urgency, and then you're going to prioritize the risks. It's going to be an ongoing activity and you're never going to be completely risk free. So you don't have to resolve all risks, but you do have to have them in a log and say which ones you're going to be working on, say this quarter or this half year. And then for each risk, you're going to need a risk treatment plan. You can have one plan that covers many risks or one plan per risk. And it says, this is what I'm going to do. It might be a mini project plan if it's a particularly big risk, or it might be a small thing that you say, oh, we're going to implement multi-factor authentication on Office 365. Sure, that's going to take some planning. So you just write out the actions and who's going to do that. So you have a clear plan of attack, and that's your risk treatment plan. So moving on then, 6.2 then says, what are your security objectives? So you've got to set some very high level objectives through your ISMS about what you want to achieve, and then define what resources you're going to need to deliver against those objectives. So who's doing what, where, and when are the key things to answer here. And you need to capture those in a set of objectives. For example, we're going for ISO 27001 this year, or we are going to implement Security Onion this quarter. It's down to you to determine what your objectives are, and I wouldn't overcomplicate it, but you need a series of objectives that show that your ISMS is going somewhere. It has a guiding star by which it's setting its course. 6.3 then is just saying, do you handle change effectively around your ISMS so that any changes to anything within it are done in a controlled way? Over the years, I'm sure we've all seen situations where someone's made an IT change and it's had a disastrous impact. It can bring a system down or it can compromise security, but it's also about changing things within your security management system, which aren't necessarily technologically driven, such as policies and procedures. How are you going to handle changes to those kind of things, or changes to objectives? Who do they have to be approved by? What's the approval process? So you need a change management approach for technical changes and for the things within your ISMS. There you go. Just over 3 minutes, but I hope it was helpful.